And we are live. What's up, everybody? Long time no see with the lives. Gonna have a very special guest joining us in a moment. The other Bisping, Micheal Bisping. So gonna be a lot of fun. Let's invite him in. Got a lot to talk about. The box. Oh, hello there.
Oh,
Oh,
what
look at this guy. How we doing?
what a surprise. I had no idea this was going to
I
happen.
fancy seeing you here. Mental.
Fancy
Totally.
seeing. How are you, son? You okay?
Yeah, doing good. Done with the wrestling practice. Fights last weekend. Fights coming up. Hello.
Your Wi-Fi stinks. Your Wi-Fi
Yeah.
stinks. Anybody else was he freezing up for anyone else? Is there another part of the room you can go into where the Wi-Fi will be marginal?
Yeah, you know what? Let me try.
Yeah, you just kept freezing up there, buddy. What's up, everybody? Thanks for following Fight Club, by the way, while Callum figures out his Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah. Apologies, guys. It should be better in this room.
What's up, Shannon Briggs in the house? How we doing?
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ. That's
Go,
right.
champ.
That's right. Shannon
Love it.
Briggs versus Rampage Jackson. 2-fight series coming up, I believe. Once they're going to box, and then the next time they're going to do an MMA fight, from what Shannon tells me.
Amazing.
Shannon's trying to get me on there as well. Shannon's been trying to
Take the fight. Take the fight.
We'll discuss another time.
Terminology. There we are. I guess that's the perfect segue into the boxing last week. I know you watched it. Vitor Holyfield main event, co-main event, Silva, Tito Ortiz.
Callum, look at you. You're like some kind of skilled, polished broadcaster.
I'm just a really big deal. You know what I mean? Just these transitions.
Just do this. Just give segues. Just brush it. There it is.
Literally walked out of the practice room, hit some conditioning, hit some live matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're a total beast. We'll talk, Shannon. We'll talk. So, by the way, everybody, Callum was almost late. He texted me. He said, "Oh, we'll have to be a few minutes late." I'm like, "Son, we can't advertise a live at 5:30, then go on at 5:35. I'm sorry, as your father, that can't be allowed."
It's actually beyond my control because my roommates wanted to stop at a boba place on the way home. They had no consideration for me.
Oh,
so
it wasn't even your coach. It wasn't even your coach.
Well, we went long. The practice went long.
And what kind of self-respecting man goes to a boba place? What
kind of self-respecting father is reprimanding his guys? He never talks to me privately. This is our only interaction. He's flaming me for no reason.
What kind of man am I?
It's ridiculous.
Stop talking over one another, or stop talking over me, and I won't talk over you. Boba, my God. Anyway, Triller Fight Club. What a shit show that was at the weekend. Seen a lot of reports, people saying that if the whole thing was just a rip-off because the fights were all exhibition matches. Pardon me. Yeah, they weren't even legit professional fights, and I think all four. So even, for example, like David Hay, that other guy, it was only an exhibition match. So a bit of a assuming that's because of Holyfield going to get his license. Wasn't licensed in California. But I never saw the David Hay fight, but I saw Ortiz, Anderson, and the main event, of course. But the Tito Ortiz versus Anderson Silva fight, I think what happened there, and listen, Anderson Silva is just a way better striker, way better boxer.
Yeah.
I'm not talking bad about Tito Ortiz, I'm not. But I think one factor that made Anderson's job even easier was the fact that Donald Trump was commentating. And Tito loves Trump like more than anybody else on this planet. You know what I mean?
More than his children, 100%.
More than his children, more than anything. So like with him, he was like, "Oh my God, my hero, my God, my idol is commentating this fight. Keep watching right now." So he wanted to go out there and he wanted to, yes, so what? I've got grey hair. I look better than you, bitch.
Is it all? Oh, tell him.
Yeah, he wanted to go out there and put a real show on. He wanted to impress his idol. So he went out there and got overly aggressive. And against Anderson Silva is an absolute tactician. He is a sniper. And he's so calm and collected and composed in there. You can't rush at Anderson Silva and just try and be like super aggressive and just try and smash it. You can't do that. You got to pick your shots. You got to look for openings. You got to set traps. And Anderson Silva's a master of mind games. And what he did was he backed himself up in the corner and stood in the corner, right?
Yeah, right
That's
in the
what
corner.
Anderson Silva does all the time. He did it to me when I fought him. Remember, he went up against the fence and put his hands down by his waist. So I backed off. I said, no, you ain't doing that, mate. You ain't
Yeah.
standing there in a defenseless posture against the fence and making a dick out of me. If you ain't going to fight, then I ain't going to fight. And then when he started
Make him
fighting,
come to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
He did it against Stephen Bonner. He does it against everybody. You know, Muhammad Ali did it. They called it the rope-a-dope. But Anderson Silva, I wouldn't call it a rope-a-dope. I'd call it a Dicky Tricky. But
Tricky.
the old Anderson Silva with the old Dicky Tricky. But so Tito went forward and he was trying to get out of there in the first combination, which again, smart. But he's throwing a combination. He started off, Tito's not the fastest or the hardest puncher. But he started off, there was a little bit more speed. But after like 10 punches, he was knackered. And those last three left hooks, they were very slow.
Slow as molasses, no power, no pop.
And then at that moment in time, Anderson Silva saw his opening, cracked him with a good one. And then that was it. I also think the weight cut, trying to get down to 195, even though he missed weight by 5 pounds, I think that was part of it. So that's what happened there. Anderson Silva, man, he's just incredible. He's incredible.
These last, this boxing send-off kind of retirement tour he's going on, I feel like, it kind of makes up for the end of his, UFC run, kind of the farewell story that everyone wanted to see.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No?
And good for him, because he is a legend of the fight game. And he did have such an amazing career. And to see his UFC run end the way that it did, yeah, it was kind of sad, I guess, because you got to be a fan of that guy. But anyway, hold on. This could be boring talk. What's going on, everyone, on Fight Club? Callum founded this page quite some time ago, and there's a great team that gets involved with it now. But I want to say thanks to everyone that follows this, because it's a valued part of our little operation that we have going on, and it's a great asset. And we know the followers are very, very passionate and loyal. So thank you all, and thank you all to all the contributors of the page.
Yep.
That do a great job in providing all this content, because I'm sure you'll agree with me that the content is fantastic. Machine Gun Kelly versus Conor McGregor.
Let's talk about it.
What in the fucking world is he up to?
We're living in a simulation. We really are. I don't understand the premise of this beef.
Well, there isn't a beef, is there?
He punched him. Of course there is.
Who punched him?
Conor went to punch him.
Well, he tried to, yeah. But that doesn't mean there's a beef. It means Conor was just out of his mind last night. There's not a beef. What I saw, I got out this morning. I'm having my coffee. I saw it last night, but I went to bed. I'm having my coffee this morning, and I'm looking around, and I'm scrolling, and I forget what website it was, and they had an eyewitness. Now, you never know. Maybe the eyewitness is full of shit, but the eyewitness account that I read said that he went up to Machine Gun Kelly. I feel like an idiot even saying that sentence.
You say MGK.
Yo, he went up and said, "Hey, Machine Gun Kelly, how are you there?" Hey, how about you there, Machine Gun Kelly?
How you
doing?
doing?
A wee picture? Can I get a wee picture? No. So he went up and he tried to get a picture, apparently, but his security, Kelly, I'm going to call him, Kelly's security kind of shoved him away, and then that's when Conor shit the bed.
Really? Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Okay, I thought it was unprovoked, but if that's true, then I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But
who in the right mind, what self-respecting man asks Machine Gun Kelly for a picture? That's what I want to know.
Well, we're not dealing with a self-respecting man, you could say.
But still, it was laughable. I actually thought Kelly handled it pretty well, but Conor, I'm not making an excuse for him, but a man like that has had many surgeries myself, and you've had a couple now.
Yep.
Some of the medication that you on afterwards can get you acting pretty erratic. Do you know what I mean?
You can attest. I can attest. I'm not an argumentative person at all, in my opinion. When I was on those, wow.
Yeah, you were arguing with everything I was saying.
Well, we were both on pills at the same time, so it was the worst combination.
We're making a stand, right? Druggies, but we both had surgery. I saw his tricep. Oh no, you had this one was a meniscus bucket handle
meniscus tear, my right knee.
Yeah, but then another time he tore his tricep, and his tricep was all the way at the top of his bone. And he did a wrestling camp. Oh, there's the scar. What a guy.
Kind of a badass, you could say.
Yeah, he was such a badass. So anyway, I'm not making excuses for him, but he was acting out of his mind. Maybe the medication is on or whatever. But still, stay tuned.
It's not excusable.
It's a fun little show to watch, to see it all unfold before our very eyes.
Very fun. Speaking of someone you're a large fan of, to someone else you're a large fan of, Vitor Belfort to the main event. I know you're a big fan. What big
Well,
takeaways did you find from him versus Holyfield?
well, Shannon Briggs, I don't know if he's still here, but if he is here, well done. I saw him, he's trolling Vitor on his Instagram page, putting pictures of him. Listen, Vitor's the biggest juice monkey out there, okay?
Yeah.
Simple. Got an ass like a dartboard, you know what I mean? And he came off the TRT and he looked pathetic. He looked like a shadow of himself. He looked skinny and pathetic, and I'd take you to beat him in a fight.
Skinny
But
fat, yeah.
skinny
Looked
fat,
horrendous.
and he's just a shitty person as well. So anyway, so he's fighting Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield's 58. We saw him at the open workouts. He was very slow. But you don't know, right? You might think, well, because of his experience as a boxer, maybe he hasn't got the speed, but he's got the timing.
Yeah, he's crafty.
Yeah, he's crafty. He's a veteran. He's a former world champion. He was an Olympic gold medalist, I think. He's been a boxer forever.
Yeah, correct.
He's 58, but he's old and he's slowed down. But you never know. Maybe some of his skills and whatnot could have made up for that. But it was clearly obvious that it wasn't. And if you're Vitor Belfort, first of all, let's remember, this is an exhibition match, right? This was not a world title fight. This was not an Olympic gold medalist final fight. He's fighting an old age pensioner, and he's going at him like he's trying to kick the shit out of him, like he's just punched his mum in the face. Yeah. It's like, read the room. It's an exhibition match.
Yeah, I believe you said the exact same thing. It's an exhibition. The people want to see Holyfield box. It's been 20 years since we've seen that.
Exactly. I don't know if it's been 20 years, but it's been a while.
2011, actually, rather.
Yeah. So it's been 10 years. Let the man get a few punches off. Let him get a little sweat on. Let him have a couple of rounds. You know what I mean? Play the game. But no, he goes out there. And as I say, like he was out of his mind on steroids and who knows what. But it's like, come on, man. It's like, and then he celebrates like he's just knocked out Mike Tyson.
Embarrassing. Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's like, come on, dude, behave yourself. And then he's calling out Jake Paul.
Yeah, he gets in the camera, flexing at the camera, calls out for 30 million. Not going to happen.
Number one, Triller ain't got 30 million to give to Jake Paul. Maybe they have, but I doubt it. But they certainly haven't got Vitor Belfort. They haven't got 25 million to give to him either. He's standing there looking like all ridiculous. Going, yeah, 25 million, Jake Paul, Dickie Paulie, let's go. Let's go. All the steroids. Yeah, Jake Paulie. Shut the fuck up.
It's funny you say that because I was listening to Jake Paul on the Helwani show today, and he even said Triller does not have the 30 million to put up that fight. He knows for a fact.
Well, let's just talk about the shit show that's Triller as well. I forget his name, something Kavanagh. He's the promoter. You see him get, something Kavanagh, John Kavanagh, Brett Kavanagh. I know one of them's a politician.
Well, Brett Kavanagh, John Kavanagh's Connor's coach, but anyway.
Yeah, well, something Kavanagh. Anyway, he's on the microphone, he's in the ring, and he's effing and blinding as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, act a little bit professional. You know what I mean? I know Dana likes to swear, but if he's on TV doing all that, he acts like...
Not that level, is it?
He acts like the president of an organization should do. Do you know what I mean? Guy that on the calling out bloody Jake Paul, the whole thing was bloody ridiculous. It was stupid.
Well, that's the perfect representation of Triller as a brand. You know, they're just trashy. You know, it sums it all up.
Shouts out to Great Harbour as well.
You still there?
Great. Anthony. No, I'm here, buddy. Bisping, the best fight from England. Well, thank you very much. You've both got very nice. Vitor's just trying to get back all the money he wasted on roids. But they'll be trying for a long time. Bisping, why is this guy looks like you, bro? Well, that's because...
I don't know.
Why do you look like Micheal?
Might have came from your ball sack.
Well, that is not a nice way to put it. Your mother's in the background. Look.
I can hear it. Hi, Mom.
You came from my ball sack?
Scientifically, it's correct. You can't dispute that.
You do know that your grandmother's watching this. 100%.
Watching from Malaysia.
They will be watching from Malaysia. You are speaking in such
crass terminology,
using terms of profanity that we don't appreciate. Okay, Callum?
I'll switch to a more scientific manner going forward. I do apologise.
What else is going on? So obviously the Contender series is back. I'll be going to Vegas tomorrow to call that. It's a great show, the Contender. And then Saturday night we have the Fight Night back. The UFC's on. Anthony Smith taking on Ryan Superman Spann. How do you see that one going down, Cal?
Honestly, I see Smith winning pretty decidedly, if I'm completely honest. Spann's good, he's tough, but I haven't seen a lot that convinces me he can compete with that upper level. And I feel like, you know, if Span is who he says he is, he should be able to beat Smith. But Smith is too tough. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. So I'm just looking at the comments and a lot of stuff about
What are they saying?
Kelly and Connor. I reckon Machine Gun Kelly could take Connor right now.
Did you see the studs in Kelly's face? He is like the diamonds in his cheeks.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, he definitely loses a few man points for bedazzling his face. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. Listen, in this day and age, more power to you. Express yourself. Be yourself. Go out there, dress flamboyantly. But I wasn't a fan of the makeup and the bedazzles on his face.
I mean, I was gonna come home wearing exactly that.
Well, you've
So,
done it before. I remember
I mean,
that time you probably don't remember. You came in drunk. You had a dress on.
yeah,
You
but it
had
was
women
with your
to wear.
recommendation. I was following your footsteps. You showed me photos of you doing the exact same thing. You told me to do it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Come on
Shut
now.
up. You're not funny.
You can't do it to me. You can't take it back. Anyway,
When you can't say the same thing, you got to be original.
I'm sorry. I'll
Anyway,
stop the jest talk.
Jay Gomez versus Callum. Well, Callum beats the crap out of him. Let's be honest. Clitheroe
Smash
stand
it.
indeed. I'm trying to find a good question from our followers. Oh, we've got Burnley people on it. Burnley, Great Harwood. What's up, UK in the house?
Got Canadians in the house too.
Predict Rockhold versus
Ooh,
Strickland.
there we go.
Thank you very much. Callum, how do you see that going down?
I mean, I feel like I'm going to defer this to you because you've been in the octagon twice with one of them, and you've trained extensively with the other. So I feel like you're the perfect person to really give a little prediction.
Yeah, but it's hard to say because where is Rockhold at right now in his career? You know,
No
what
one
I mean?
knows.
We know
Yeah.
physically he is a physical specimen. You know, I see him down at Ruka, and the things Rockhold can do is pretty spectacular in terms of his skill set, like just his warm up routines and things. You know,
Yeah.
he's a legit athlete. He's a great surfer. He's a great skateboarder. He's a great athlete, fighter. Good jiu-jitsu, all that stuff. He's really in control of.
Very talented. Yeah.
Very, very talented. But he's been knocked out a few times. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what. Yeah, yeah.
It was 3 in a row, I believe.
Yeah, by me and then Yoel and then Jan Blachowicz. Now,
Yep, that's it.
fair enough. No shame in any of them. Certainly, Jan Blachowicz went on to become the champ. Yoel Romero, as we know, he was, you know, a very, very powerful man. And then that other guy that knocked him out, legendary.
I don't like to talk about him, if I'm honest. I feel
Larry. No, but where's he at? Can he still take a punch? He's had some time away. He's getting a little bit older. And on the flip side, Sean Strickland, he's a guy. He's a volume. He's a pressure guy. High volume strikes, not the most power.
yeah.
But he's got the perfect style to beat someone like Luke because Luke needs. You know, he's a very pretty fighter. He's a pretty. I don't mean to look at as well. God damn, he's a handsome son of a gun.
Handsome devil, isn't
That's
he?
not what I. But he has a pretty style, you know what I mean? He likes the room to operate. He likes to use his flashy kicks and all the rest of it. The way to beat someone like that, you've got to crowd the kicker. So, and that's what Strickland will do. He'll walk him down, he'll get in his face and just throw a lot of pressure shots. So, I don't know. It's an interesting clash of styles. If it hits the ground, Rocco's really good on the ground, as we know, but so Strickland. Strickland's surprisingly good on the ground.
Yeah.
They're pretty even there. Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm not going to make a prediction because Fight Club don't pay me enough for that, bro. No, it's too far. It's too far out. But
Yeah, of course.
it's definitely an interesting fight.
What do you think of Strickland's kind of you know, out there comments saying you know, he's thought about killing people, he's thought about, you know, this, that, and the others? A very bizarre character as of late.
Yeah, he is a very bizarre character. But I got to say, whilst I don't agree with it, I don't agree with a lot of what Sean Strickland says. I am entertained by it.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't look away.
Yeah, no, he's definitely, you know, and like when he's fighting and he's talking shit to his opponents and whatnot, I enjoy it. As a fan of the fight game, I enjoy him because I don't want people when I'm watching fighters. I don't necessarily need this fighter to be solid enough as a person to run for politics, to run for office. I don't need this fighter that I'm watching to be a good match for my daughter. I don't need this fighter that I'm watching to be teaching my kids at school. No, I want to see badasses in there. I want to see people that don't give a shit. I want to see people that are willing to die in there to get the victory, you know. And if Sean says some outlandish, controversial shit, I couldn't care less. All I care about is how he fights in the octagon. And lately, his fights have been fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, it is a fight. So, you know, you can fight the best. It's all that matters.
I'm just looking at the question here from Rob Brannan. And
Rob Brannan,
good old Rob Brandon. I hope you're well, Bobby.
my boy.
I think Jake Paul has the minerals to take the fight with Tommy Fury.
What does that mean? What are the minerals?
Are you serious?
Well, I
Oh,
figured it out in context of what he said, but I've never heard minerals. I gotta say.
Has he got minerals? Has he got the minerals? It's an expression. It's a bit. It means have you got the balls? Have you got what it
The
takes? To get the
cojones.
courage? He's got the minerals. He's got the minerals.
Minerals in it.
So, like, Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, that should be the fight that they make next. The only thing why it might not happen is because maybe Tommy Fury isn't a big enough star. That said, he fought on the undercard of Jake's last fight against Woodley. So, therefore, a lot of people have seen him. Because it's a lot of Jake Paul's getting a lot of shit of people saying he needs to fight a legit boxer, right? And Tommy Fury is the right level, is the correct level of experience that Jake should be fighting. I think he's
I agree.
4 or 5 fights as well. And I thought Tommy Fury would have beaten Jake Paul. However, seeing his performance against, who was it? Who did he fight? What was his name?
I'm forgetting the name. I know the fighter.
The guy had one boxing fight. He was an MMA fighter. He was way smaller. All the advantages were on the side of Tommy Fury. And I feel he really missed an opportunity there. So who knows? Maybe it was just one of those nights. Maybe his opponent was just awkward. Maybe he's just having a hard time finding his rhythm or whatever. But I think that should be the next fight. And while granted, you know, for Jake Paul, he's been doing these blockbuster fights. You know, they're talking about, I don't know, Vitor Belfort and Anderson Silva or some names like that.
Big name recognition.
Number one, well, no, he doesn't need name recognition because not every single fight that Jake Paul has, or anyone, not every fight that he has to be a blockbuster record-selling fight. Some fights just have to be a natural progression, and as you go along on your journey, and that will get him a lot of credibility. It'll still be a good payday. It just won't break records, but it'll still make a significant amount of money, and it will shut up a lot of people that are talking shit saying, "Why don't you take on another boxer?"
I honestly feel like Jake Paul doesn't care, though. I feel like he's not going to be in it if it's not this next level blockbuster, always up type of fight. You know, I feel like he's different. You know, he's a prize fighter in essence. You know what I mean? But
you're absolutely right. You know, and to be honest, I guess the flip side to that statement, what I just made, would be that my phone keeps going dark. It's pissing me off. I keep having to touch it.
Yeah, me too. Keep tapping it.
He's only got so long before he loses. You know, and unfortunately in the boxing scene, when you lose, you're almost done, which it shouldn't be like that. But it's not always like that, but a lot of the time, you know, when you lose
a lot of the
fight,
time, your stock drops massively. Yeah.
So maybe he's just trying to capitalize while he can, or maybe he's taking on people like Ben Askren while he can. If he takes on Ben Askrens of the world, he's always going to, you know. So I'd like to see. Prediction, Callum: Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, 2 wrestlers.
Oh.
Good question.
Great fight, great matchup. I have Justin Gaethje, my lookalike. I feel like Gaethje, he's that pretty good wrestler. He can stop the takedowns, keep it on the feet, lands these leg kicks, and he has way more power than Charles Oliveira, in my opinion. So if he can land that strike, then you know I have him by TKO in the 3rd round. He puts on the pressure. I don't think Chandler will be able to handle it.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot for Michael Chandler. I respect him taking the fight because it's a tough fight for him. You know, as we know, he knocked out Hooker, got knocked out against Oliveira, and now he's going to go in against Justin Gaethje, who is, you know, he's a killer and he's one of the very, very best. So for Chandler, he has my respect for taking that fight. Yeah. Of course, he feels like he's champion material. He wants to fight for the belt, and if you beat someone like Gaethje, then he's right back in the mix, you know. So there's a lot to play, but there's a lot to lose for Michael Chandler, so I respect what he did.
I feel like, in my opinion, Gaethje is actually a step up from Oliveira, in my opinion. So, yeah, definitely, you know, good for him for taking the fight.
Which is crazy, but I actually agree. I think a lot of people are just not giving Oliveira the respect that he deserves. Yeah. Just knocked out Thingy Bob. He's on, like, what? Massive win streak.
He did beat Thingy Bob. He beat Tony Ferguson, beat Kevin Lee. He's it kind of drops off after that, to be honest. But
the history of the organization, you know what I mean? So, you know, doing. Let's have a look. We've got a good question. Would Callum consider himself a grappler or a striker or a bit of both? I'm not too familiar with his combat sports background, and that comes from Jacob.
Well, Jacob, definitely a grappler right now. Wrestling in college at San Francisco State, made the Great Britain national team. Maybe will become a striker post college, but pure grappler as of right now. We will see. Time will tell.
I saw one question here. Callum, does Darren Till go back down to 170?
I think he should. I feel like that performance against Brunson really showed size matters. It does. Yeah, but the thing is, he might just be a little too big now. If there was a 175, I feel like Darren Till is a perfect fit. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Only he can make that decision. But let's get on to some more fun topics. Somebody asked here in the question, and this comes from Kenster, 1995.
Kenster, 1995. Okay.
That
What's
was
he saying?
very good summer for me, 1995. I used to go to a lot of raves. It was a good time.
I wasn't alive.
1995 says, "Why do you sound so British all of a sudden?"
I don't really know. I mean, I just watched a lot of British TV. I've never been to the place.
Shut up. Kenster, I'll tell you why. Because he went back to England. Because same with me. When I'm here, I look like even hear that here. Like I have to sound American because people don't understand me. But when I go back to England, the English accent comes out big time. And Callum was just out in England, and then he was just out in Romania with
I was
the
in
English
England,
team.
and then I was with the British team, surrounded by Brits every single day in Romania. So it kind of carries over, and I feel like talking to you comes out more. So
Yeah.
there we are.
All right. Well, listen. We will do these more frequently. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the page. Once again, all the contributors that we have on Fight Club, they all do a fantastic job. They do really, really good stuff. So keep an eye on the page. We've got a lot of lives with a lot of guests. And we're taking over this Fight World community. So, as I say, thanks for following. Thanks for watching, all of you. And we'll be back. We'll do this again in a few more days with a special guest. Callum, keep up the good work, my friend. Enjoy your night up there at college. And, what are you weighing right now, you fat bastard?
I texted you. I was 210.
Oh, 210.
That's good, isn't
sod.
it? You're surprised.
Hey, everyone, this guy, he just went to a tournament in Romania, and he had to weigh in at 213 pounds. And 2 weeks before the tournament, he's 228 pounds.
I made the weight. I did make the weight. I didn't have to do any. I didn't have to really cut weight. I lost the weight smartly. You know what I mean?
No, did a good job. I'm proud of you. Again, thanks everyone for watching. Son, love you loads. Take care.
Yep.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you for joining us. We'll do this again soon. Boom.